Welcome to GER Hub Research Project Writing Lessons. Today we shall be talking about a particular segment of research project writing, and that is the aim and objectives of your study. Okay, so in this video, what I want to discuss is how to write your aim and objectives. Now, for us to do that, you must understand, first of all, where in your research project the aim and objectives of the study lies. And I will tell you quickly that the aim and objective of your study lies or should lie in the chapter 1 of your study. The chapter 1 of any research project is the introduction. Okay, so one of the subheadings that make the introduction is called the aim and objectives of the study. So if you were asked the question, where in the research project among the chapters do you find the aim and objectives of the study, it is found in the chapter 1. That is the introduction of the study. Okay, now the second thing I want to say, that being said, now that we know where we can actually locate the aim and objectives of our study, let us go into the next thing. What else should you know in order to enable you write a good aim and objectives of the study? You must start with even understanding what the aim for a research project is and what the objectives for a research project is. Okay, now take note, for any research project there must be an aim, and what we call the aim of a research project talks about the overall set objective for that work. Okay, so there is no research project that must not have an aim, or that should not have an aim, or that does not have an aim. Every research project must have an aim, and the aim specifies that overall target you wish to accomplish at the end of that research project writing process. Okay, so at the end of your research project writing process, you must have accomplished what you set out as the aim. So the aim describes an overall target you are setting out at the onset to achieve at the end of the research project. Okay, now take note of one thing: your research project aim does not stand in isolation, does not work in isolation. If there is an aim for your research project, there should be a set of objectives. Now, students would often ask, what is the link between aim and objectives? Now, take note of one thing: aims, when decomposed, would yield so many objectives or several objectives. Okay, so aim gives rise to objectives, and when objectives are accomplished, they end up helping you accomplish the aim. Okay, so the aim gives rise to objectives, and objectives will end up, when accomplished, help you accomplish the aim. So they are interlinked in that manner, aim and objectives. Okay, so aim will give rise to a set of objectives, and objectives will now help you accomplish the aim. So you take note of that. Now, we have just said that aim, you must understand the aim, and the aim of a work is the overall target you set out to accomplish at the end of the work. Now, how do you develop objectives, or how do you even, let's start with even discussing how to get the aim. Take note of one thing: I usually will tell students that one simple way to develop an aim for your study is to paraphrase the topic. Now, let's assume that you want to analyze, your topic is analyzing the impact of X on Y, where X is one thing that relates to Y, and you want to understudy or investigate what the relationship is, or what the influence is, or what the consequence is of X on Y. Now, if that is your topic, to analyze the impact of X on Y, then you can actually paraphrase that topic, which we have just stated, analyzing the impact of X on Y. You can paraphrase that topic to get what we call an aim. So you can put your aim in this manner: the aim of this study is to analyze the impact of X on Y. Or you can paraphrase it in this manner: this project is aimed at analyzing the impact of X on Y, full stop. So one way to write out your aim, or to write out a good aim, is to look at your topic and paraphrase it. Okay, now, since we have just said that aim will lead to objectives, and what are objectives? Objectives are a set of statements coined out from your aim, such that when those statements, the activity of accomplishing each of those statements are achieved, if you can actually accomplish the activity each of those statements entail or embody, then you would be achieving the aim. So objectives are those set of statements, maybe in steps from beginning to the end, that will help you achieve the aim. Again, objectives are those set of statements coined out from the aim, that will help you achieve the aim. So you can look at objectives as sub-aims, okay? Now, how do objectives relate to the aim of your work? Objectives are coined out from the aim, and they relate to your aim or your work in the sense that step by step, as you follow them through, they would end up helping you achieve the aim. Now, let us take, for instance, the topic I mentioned earlier, analyzing the impact of X on Y. If that is the topic you are looking at, then what kind of objectives can we set out for that particular topic? You can set out an objective, let's say 4 objectives in this manner. The first objective you can set out is to review literature or review related literature on the study. Now take note, when you carry out any research, you must acknowledge first of all, or try to investigate whether or not people have been writing on things related to what you are about to study. Okay, so it is very important to do so as to understand whether or not people have been writing on things related to what you are about to study. Number 2, whether or not they have actually investigated what you are about to study. Because if they have investigated exactly what you are about to study, then there is no need to study it. Then you must also review literature for the purpose of knowing what kind of technique they use in carrying out their own research as it concerns what you are about to study. So those things will guide you. Now, that put together can actually form objective number 1. So reviewing reviewing related literature can become an objective for this particular study I have just told you about. Analyzing the impact of X on Y. So that can be objective number 1. Now, once you have reviewed literature, you can now go to objective number 2. Objective number 2 can be, in this particular case, for this particular topic, collecting requisite data. Now, you cannot study the impact of X on Y without going through a collection of data, because collection of data would help you in step 3, objective number 3. Now, if you can collect data, collecting data means collecting observations on X as it relates to Y, and also collecting observations on Y as it relates to X. Okay? In this case, remember, the example I'm giving here is analyzing the impact of X on Y. So you must collect a set of observations on X and a set of observations on Y. Now, the data collection process may involve doing just that. And it links up with the literature review, because it is the literature review or the review of literature that must have unraveled how people had gone about the research previously. It is the literature review that must have unraveled the technique with which they analyzed the data or they collected the data. And that will now bring you to another objective, being an objective number 3. If you have been able to successfully collect data, then it is only proper those data you collected should be analyzed. So a third objective could now become analyzing data. Okay, so analyzing data could now be a third objective. Then the fourth and final objective, whenever data is analyzed, is to run conclusions or recommendations based on the data you have analyzed, because the analysis of data will lead to inferences. Okay, so you must make inference, you must make conclusion and subsequent recommendations based on the analysis you have carried out. Now, these examples I've just given you are just based on the topic I mentioned. So the aim I just gave you and the objectives I gave you are based on the topic I mentioned. Now, what have I said so far? For you to write a good aim and objective to your study, you must start with knowing where the aim and objectives as a component of a research work lies in a research work. And I'm telling you, it lies in the chapter 1, the introduction. So if you pick up a research project, where would you find the aim and objectives? It will be found in the introduction to that work. That is in the chapter 1. The introduction is the chapter 1 of that study. Now, the second thing you must know is what the aim of a research means and what the objectives of a research mean. So I am telling you that the aim of a research simply talks about that overall target you aim or you wish to accomplish at the end of the research. And aim will lead to objectives. Objectives are those sub-targets that, when accomplished, would help you accomplish the aim. So aim will give birth to objectives, and objectives, when met, would help you accomplish the aim. So they are linked. That's the second thing you must take note of. Now, the third thing you must take note of that I'm saying in this video is, how do you know what the aim, how to form or formulate your aim? You can formulate your aim by using a simple procedure, by paraphrasing the topic. And I gave an instance here. If you are studying a topic such as the impact of X on Y, your aim can be gotten by reformulating that topic or paraphrasing that topic. In this case, you can state the aim as, the aim of this study is to analyze the impact of X on Y, or this study aims to analyze the impact of X on Y. Doing so, by paraphrasing the topic, you have coined out an aim. Now, for you to be able to develop objectives from that aim means you must really observe what is needed to achieve the aim. And number one thing that may be needed is to review literature, and that becomes objective number one. Number two thing that is needed in order to achieve that aim may be to carry out a data collection process, okay, to collect data, requisite data. The third thing that may be needed in that particular research work may be also to analyze the data that you've collected. And the fourth thing that is very important you do when data is analyzed is to run inferences. And in this case, it is to run conclusions and recommendations based on the analysis you have done. Okay? So those are things you really need to know about the aim and objectives of a research project. Now, you drop your comments in the comment section below, and I would see you in our next class on research project writing. Who knows, we just may be discussing something related to this. And please go through this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you like the video, and please drop your comments. They are very, very necessary to give us a direction on what next to discuss. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.